YouTube, what's going on? This is your boy, the Rational Nerd. Man, it's been a long time. Of course, today marks the Foxmas Day, which a lot of people are calling this jubilant day of ours, since, Disney has happened to take ownership over 20th Century Fox News in general also, but that's a totally different other discussion. Lord, like, here's today's news. Donald Trump was a jerk. Whatever the case is, that was corny. But honestly, I wish Trump the best of luck, and may he continue to better himself as a worthy president of our time. Anyway, moving on to bigger, better things. Of course, now we all know that the X-Men and the Fantastic Four have a huge chance of being involved within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, this means a numerous amount of things. Now, I'm not the biggest comic book fanatic when it comes to studying comic book material, because there are so many different comic books I haven't, had the chance to read involving the X-Men and both the Fantastic Four. But apparently there are a lot of characters now that can be delved into that I don't really think would have been delved into a long time ago. You have the Starjammers, who consists of Cyclops' father, you have characters, you have landscapes like the Savage Lands that played a big role within the Secret Invasion storyline. If I remember correctly, I believe that the Avengers got a call to report to the Savage Lands to investigate some missing superhero whose name I can't recall at the moment, or identity I can't recall at the moment. Trying to see if I can merge over here. Well, my memory's a little fuzzy because I'm trying to do like a billion things like all at once. But apparently, the Avengers go to investigate this, this location within the Savage Lands, and it appears that there's this big giant ship that had crashed, and then all of a sudden, characters like Spider-Man, Luke Cage, and I don't know if Captain America was there. I can't really recall it. No, I think Captain America was dead at this point. I can't really remember, to be exact. It was so long I read the story. Forgive me, guys. But, all of a sudden, like, the Avengers see all these characters within the ship, and Spidey's like, yo, like, who are you? And the other Spider-Man's like, no, who are you? And all these different characters who resemble one another look just like their old selves. However, they look similar to the 1970s counterparts of their characters. So instead of having, Luke Cage sporting his, this yellow T-shirt and blue jeans or whatever the case is with his bald head, you got the other guy who has like a little crown around his head and whatnot, and the chains that's on his fists and stuff like that. So it was a pretty cool way to do it, and plus like a little tease and nod to comic book fans who are familiar with the old counterparts of how most of their beloved characters used to dress. But besides that, that's like one route that they could actually take. Now that the Avengers and the X-Men share properties and stuff like that, you can have all the Avengers go to the Savage Land location to see that there's so many different characters who they thought were dead or lost, who are indeed themselves, but Skrulls. So the whole Skrull storyline, I know I'm going like in and out with it, but I'm driving right now and it's hard to recall facts from a comic I read like a while back. But I think that would be a pretty cool direction to bring everything in. Also, in addition to that, you could also do something similar to like Secret Wars, which all the characters are brought together by, was it the Watcher, if I'm correct, to duel with one another for whatever sake's purposes. And that way you could bring in the X-Men from this universe and bring in, the Avengers from that universe and merge them together in one movie. And then from now, they're all in one universe. However, that brings forth another, hypothesis of what could happen. The Infinity Stones are within, Infinity Wars, and this happened like at the most perfect timing, which is why I'm kind of questioning this whole Sony Fox thing. Marvel probably did plan on this happening the entire time so that they could have the direct leeway into obtaining the rights to some of these characters. So now, it's very possible to have, the Infinity Stones redo continuity itself, or like the universe itself. And you could do this in a way which will reboot the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, or you could cherry pick which characters you'd rather discontinue their contracted appearances within the movies, like Robert Downey Jr. I believe that he's going to die in Infinity War. I just believe it. I think that he's going to die, or maybe he's going to sacrifice himself to restart continuity as we know it. That could be an option. It would be a funny option if, he did, also bring back everyone together. But at the same time, he reimagines himself being, a little bit sexier, a little bit more playboyish, and everybody's like, hey, you kind of look a little different. Or maybe nobody knows, but only he knows, because, that's just how comical Iron Man can be. But who knows? That's just like crazy thinking. But I do think that the Infinity Stones will play a role in regards to resurrecting the dead characters who may die within the Infinity War Part 1 movie, or even the Part 2 movie. And also, in addition, recast some characters if, some characters choose not to continue playing. Actors discontinue to play some of those characters. So, now we got characters like Doctor Doom. We have, Kang the Conqueror, which also ties into Apocalypse and all types of other stuff. Reed Richards, I believe, like an old, who was it? It's really crazy. What was it supposed to be? Reed Richards was supposed to have like an ancient ancestor, or was it Doctor Doom? No, Reed Richards was supposed to have like an evil version of himself that went back in time to be a ruler at the time. Just forget that. Just forget all about that. Nonetheless, they can definitely use Doctor Doom and Kang, entering their way into the MCU. A lot of people mention Galactus and Silver Surfer, but I personally believe that after Infinity Wars, it's a possibility, but for the time being, well, you know what? Kevin Feige did just state that, the future Avengers movies will indeed be more cosmic related. So there will be more Avengers films taking place in outer space, which isn't bad. We could be talking like different planets for all we know, not just like floating in space, like fighting and dueling one another. But we could be talking about, on different planets and whatnot, which I wouldn't be mad about. But I do think that there are a lot of grounded stories on Earth that can still be adapted, like Siege, the Dark Avengers story arc. You have the Skrulls, like Secret Invasion story arc. You can make some of the movies like more grounded, and not grounded like as in realistic, but to get like more personal with characters like Doctor Doom and stuff like that. I don't really see Doctor Doom being a outer space type of character. Doom, is a very intelligent person, but the Latveria and stuff like that, I can see that stuff like working. And it would be cool to see like some type of medieval, themed locations for villainy in the MCU. I personally would love to see the Red Skull return back, but who knows? I think that my idea was for Civil War was to have him be the main baddie the entire time. But maybe in that case it would be like we were rushing the movie, or rushing the Red Skull's reappearance in the movie universe. If you look at how many films have been made since the time that Captain America has came out, it would definitely be very pleasing to see him return. But I have no idea what happened to Red Skull. And that's something I really do anticipate at least getting a hint about within the Infinity War movie. They could bring back Red Skull for another Captain America solo flick, to go toe-to-toe with Bucky Barnes instead of Steve Rogers, if Steve Rogers decides to pass on the mantle and remain like a secret Avenger, or whatever the case is. and have Bucky, you know, fulfill the mantle of being Captain America. This way, Bucky Barnes doesn't have to worry about, you know, the world knowing his identity, and he can portray himself to be this masked Captain America figure that everyone believes is Steve Rogers, but is really Bucky Barnes. Are you gonna move up? Come on, man. What you doing? Sorry. You don't play so much. So that's one way I see about it. But for the most part, it's just like we just don't know. We just don't really know what to expect yet. Everyone has their own, you know, assumptions in regards to like what could probably happen. But none of us knows for sure what those, you know, mystery 2020 movies could be. Because, you know, Kevin Feige said himself that, you know, if those film titles were revealed, then that would be a huge spoiler for Infinity Wars movies. For the Infinity Wars movies. So that's something to really think about. You know, what could be the huge spoiler in Infinity Wars, which could result in those 3 movies being some of the biggest spoilers. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Fantastic Four, X-Men, you know, Nova, you know, like, we don't really know. We do know that we're getting Spider-Man Homecoming sequel to start off, Phase 4. We're getting Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is said to push out the Guardians that we know and replace them with different Guardians. Switching up the roster, so to say. So that's something to think about too. I don't know, man. This is really the first time I really started thinking about some of these movies. I think there should be a Captain America 4 without a doubt. Thor 4 may happen, you know, to bring in people like Beta Ray Bill, or they could bring him in, you know, Infinity War Part 2 or whatever the case is. We don't really know that yet. But these are a lot of good assumptions that we all can have. Now you can have Johnny Storm building the spider buggy for, you know, Peter Parker. You can have the Illuminati, which consists of Black Panther, Reed Richards, Iron Man, if he lives or dies, Professor X, okay, Black Bolt, and Namor the Submariner, if I'm correct. So we haven't really seen Namor yet, but he could be saved for a Black Panther sequel, which would be really cool. I don't really know if Ryan Coogler will be that big on Namor building his way into the MCU. I don't think that he's going to be at the top Black Panther, because I think Black Panther's like more like straightforward and easy for him to narrate. You know, African kings and queens battling for the throne of Wakanda. I get that. That's perfect. But you know, still some things, you know, that he could or could not do in the future. But I don't know. We could do the Masters of Evil. Is that Masters of Evil? Is that DC? No, I'm sorry. Is that DC? No, I'm thinking of the Thunderbolts, probably. Yeah, that's what I'm probably thinking of, the Thunderbolts. You have all these villains that get together, whatever. But no, the Masters of Evil, no, that is Marvel. Yeah, never mind. Because you already have Baron Zemo. You don't really know what the heck is going on with him. All you know is that the dude is, you know, out there doing God knows what, being an a-hole, ticking off Captain America and whatnot. Who knows? Von Strucker was just wasted, and Jesus. Now, maybe if he was a Skrull, I would be so forgiving of that. I'd be like, yo, thank God for not killing off this perfect actor who could have probably encapsulated like this role. I would love to see that guy come back to play Baron Strucker. No, was it Von Strucker? Von Strucker? Yeah, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you know, these are like a lot of good things to think about. Got the Thing now coming in. You know, one thing that I thought about too, Old Man Logan. Like, as good as Logan was, you can really do an Old Man Logan comic book story arc that's like grade A. That's like on the top notch of levels that you would ever do. because you have the Hulk, you have Hawkeye, you have, let me see, you have Peter Parker's great granddaughter. I mean, no, his granddaughter, or Doctor Doom, of course. Let's see, the Hulk hillbilly family. You know, there's a lot of things that could happen, but I don't know if Marvel will want to like redo the Old Man Logan story arc. Now, what I would do if I was in charge of Marvel, not in charge, but what I would personally, what I wouldn't mind seeing is seeing like a big budget X-Men series, and just have a series instead of like doing the films, and every now and then have the characters make appearances like in some of the Avengers movies, or cherry pick certain X-Men characters from the series that you would like to appear in the movies and whatnot. Because I feel like the X-Men stories and like their library of characters and villains and stuff like that, it just can't be told like within like a 2-hour long story arc. Like the episodes that we used to get like back in the 90s, I wouldn't mind seeing actual live action episodes that will mirror like some of those events that happen. You know, it's like you could do movies, which is fine, but at the same time, like you're just gonna want to see more of these characters. There's like so many things that happen within their universe on a daily basis that I wouldn't just want to see just shoved to the side for like a 2-hour movie. So you know, it could be one heck of a 2-hour movie, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I would rather see the X-Men have a solo series set for themselves. And hey, if you want to say, hey, you know, we know that you guys liked our new Wolverine from the series, we're going to go ahead and throw Wolverine in Netflix, and we're going to give him his own Netflix series. This way we can go over his origin stories and how he did this and how he did that. We can keep it gruesome, keep what you guys want, you know, everything can stay intact. But that would have to be a pretty big budget too. Now, some people even want Hugh Jackman to return to the role. I love Hugh Jackman. He ended his role on a high note. As much as I would love to see him return, I think that we should just start fresh, reboot, and just have a whole new cast, or merge Deadpool over into Marvel's, you know, continuity somehow or some way, which is very possible. You can definitely do it. It's not like it's impossible. You can definitely do it, because they never did tie themselves down to a certain type of continuity. They didn't even date the movie in regards to when it took place. So for all we know, it could take place this year, it could take place next year, we don't know. So that's the good thing about the Deadpool universe. It introduces characters like Cable and, you know, Colossus, but at the same time, you know, we have to be very careful in regards to how long or how much these characters will stay the same. So I guess we'll see in due time. But I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, what do you guys think? You know, this is really good news, but at the same time, we don't really know where things can go. And I have a feeling that now everybody's so hyped up about Infinity Wars, we're going to kind of forget about, I mean, for this deal, we're going to kind of forget about Infinity Wars for the time being. But I don't know. You can now intertwine, you know, Fantastic Four with Black Panther, you know, because I believe Black Panther made his first... Did he make his first debut in Fantastic Four, or am I thinking of someone else? I don't know if that's the case. No, Spider-Man was the character that made his first debut in Fantastic Four, if I'm correct. Yeah, I think so. So, but Black Panther has had numerous occasions with the Fantastic Four as well, you know. Saying that Reed Richardson, totally, you know, intelligent, and Black Panther, T'Challa is totally intelligent as well. Before I just go rumbling off about nothing, what are your thoughts? You know, I know it's been a while since I've been on here talking, but for the most part, it's good to be back, especially like with a deal like this being made. And maybe this year I could continue to keep making videos as time goes on for most characters that I'm really interested in. This definitely brought me back out of my little burrow hole. So let's see where this all goes, all right? All right, this is the Rational Nerd, and I'm signing off, y'all. Peace out. No need to have an attitude, boo-boo. You ain't got to do all that. Peace.